Guys, thanks for tuning into the Browns post-game reaction as me and my man Mike react to the Browns
Hello.
loss to the Saints 10-17 Christmas night edition. We're even off camera for this one. Uh, yeah, so welcome on in. As the Browns lose yesterday in a putrid game to the Saints, they were up at the half and then they blew it in Browns fashion. Uh, Second
Yeah.
half was abysmal. Um, the play calling was terrible. We threw the ball in inclement weather on not only third down but fourth down as well.
Three
Um,
dropped touchdown passes.
yeah, Peoples Jones dropped the ball. Who else?
David
Njoku
Njoku and Amari Cooper on a wide open
wide
touchdown.
open, dropped it.
Very uncharacteristic.
Very uncharacteristic. Yeah, dropped the ball.
I'm going to chalk it up to bad weather, but
Is Kareem Hunt? I'm gonna start with this. Is Kareem Hunt over the hill?
he's washed. We talked about it a couple weeks back that I thought, I thought that his usage dipped. Like people thought, Stefanski's just not running him like that. It's like, well, Stefanski's not running him because he doesn't have the ability anymore. And that's the reason why we didn't sign him to an extension and why we drafted Jerome Ford in the first place, who has good bursts and I thought has actually done a pretty favorable job as the kick returner. He's had multiple kicks or returns over 25 yards, which is what you want to see. So, yeah, no, I really think he's either just not playing with heart because he doesn't want to be here anymore, or he just can't play like he used to. He's
right.
He's I think 28, which I know that's silly saying like, oh, he's over the hill, he's 28, but for a running back in the NFL, that's he might as well be ancient, especially with the way that he runs, with the kind of reckless abandon style. He was never really kind of like the cut and the lead kind of guy, didn't take care of his body the best. But yeah, no, I think Kareem Hunt's pretty much past his prime, and it's sad to see. We have some great memories with Kareem, but that's one player that I for sure think will not be back after this season.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, I'd like to keep him around. I like his morale on the team. He's like an energy guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a local guy. All of us Browns fans love the local guys on the team.
Yeah, but I just Jerome, the way Jerome Ford's. I watched Jerome Ford all his whole college career, and Jerome Ford's gonna be a pretty good player in the NFL. You're seeing on the kickoff returns. He's big. He's fast. He's real shifty. He's good in space. I mean, he's a really good back, and I think they stole him. Would they take him in like the fourth or fifth round?
Fifth round, yeah.
Yeah, that was a steal. He should have been a third rounder at the most. If you go look at his college, I mean,
he was their whole offense at Cincinnati.
Yeah, it all ran. It started with him. I mean, they had a good quarterback, good receivers, but and a great tight end play. But it all started with him. And yeah, I'm surprised we got him. But yeah, I mean, I think it's probably time to move on there, just because he just hasn't played. I wonder too. He's just checked out the whole year,
and that could be a possibility. But at the same time, you think, hey, even if you're not coming back, you want to put good film on tape, good plays on tape, so you can get picked up like for a decent little deal. But I mean, maybe the rest of the NFL world knows too, because we were trying to trade him to the Bills, and the Bills ended up trading for Nyheim Hines, who they don't even use in their offense. And Singletary's gotten like that next boost, and James Cook's finally working out like I thought he would. I really liked his game, but yeah, no, I mean, it's sad for Kareem, but he gave us some good years, and it's really just the cycle of the NFL running back. It's kind of like, the top guys really only ever stay the top guys for so long. And even with, look at Jonathan Taylor. He's even fallen off a hill a little bit, and he's out for the season now with, I think he tore something in his knee. And, I would argue Jonathan Taylor was number 2 or 3 as far as best running backs in the NFL. Who knows if he'll ever get back to that.
Right.
And that's another thing. Like, we're trying to, we phased him out of the offense more, and I still think they should do the running back by committee next year with Jerome Ford, because we're running Nick 20-25 carries, that's like bell cow numbers. And as much as I love Nick, he is not a 3-down back. He really isn't. He is and I mean this with all good respect. I love him so much. He's a horrible pass catcher.
Yeah, he's not
Horrible
great in passing downs.
He is so bad in passing downs. He's always late to his spot, and even when he's on time, his hands aren't good. The only thing that he's good for is if he's a check down, he runs a curl 5 yards up, he sits and waits in a soft spot of the zone, and if the quarterback has to dump it off to Nick, great. Nick can probably pick up that 5 plus another couple, but he is not I'm going to run a cross or I'm going to run a quick slant. He's not that guy or now.
Right.
I couldn't imagine Nick Chubb trying to run an out route. But I hope Jerome Ford can be that. I know he played some slot receiver too in college on top of running back, so I'm hoping that's what he evolves into. But yeah, the Saints game, at least what I saw, Joseph, was just, Deshaun was trying. He was, trying to win that game. Yeah, put it on his back. Only touchdown was a rushing touchdown on his part, which I thought was a great schemed up quarterback run. Great blocking.
Which they should have ran that more. They went away from it. It was working, and it threw the Saints off guard. Why didn't
I don't blame them for running too many. Like I get it.
In the second half, they should have ran more RPO action, and that weather.
Yeah, for sure.
They were throwing that ball around like it was 70 degrees, and sunshine.
And they were throwing it with the wind too. So
it's just the Donovan Peoples-Jones play. That's the one I can give Peoples-Jones a pass on that one because it's in the wind, it's in the back corner. That's a hard catch even in nice weather.
Yeah,
but again, why are we doing that?
I agree. And here I think Deshaun for the most part played well. He made some big completions. There was a 4th and 5 completion he made to Amari Cooper, and then the very next play it was like 3rd and 18. We got backed up, and he made yet another completion for a first down to Amari Cooper. He threw some darts in inclement weather, and then again threw 3 touchdown passes throughout the day that were dropped by his receivers, one of which was straight to the arms of Donovan Peoples-Jones. It was in coverage, though, so, ticky-tacky. You can say that was a good throw or not. One of which was just an absolute, mess up on Amari Cooper's part. Amari Cooper's wide open in the end zone. He just drops it, hits him in the numbers, drops it. And then on a 4th down to convert the first down, and we would have gotten the ball at like the 3. David Njoku, like beautiful pass straight into the window he could hit it at. And David Njoku just kind of like, I don't know. He turned his body in a weird way, and I don't know if he got his hips. He didn't get his hips right for the catch or what, but he like just ended up like smacking the ball away. And I know the ball feels different in the cold. I'm not making an excuse for him, but yeah, it was just a rough outing all around. They looked unprepared. Even though they knew how cold it was going to be, it looks like they didn't really understand what the game plan was going to be until they got there, and then they just couldn't adjust. So I don't know if you saw the same thing or.
Yeah, I mean, I just a second. Here's my problem, and we're going to get into next year here in a minute. But here's my biggest thing. If you look at last year, this year, they have not been a good team at halftime at doing it during it for adjustments. Like it's just not a good adjustment team at halftime. That's very concerning. And so I know the reports say they're bringing Stefanski back. I mean, we talked about this. If you look out there in the market, well, Sean Payton's not coming here. He's going to Arizona or the Chargers. So, I mean, who else would be available? I mean,
there's some coordinators, but really,
the only guy out there that's been a head coach is. There's only 2 names I would that's right now, as of right now, what we know it's realistic. I would say Brian Flores could get another gig possibly, but I don't know if it would be here.
I think he'll get a coordinator job before he gets a head coaching position.
Jim Harbaugh might come back to the NFL, but
yeah,
I don't know.
And we kind of talked about this a little bit too. As long as it's all about the quarterback now. Eric Bieniemy. See, the problem I have with Eric Bieniemy is he's interviewed a bunch of places and he hasn't gotten the
job. Yeah.
So there's got to be something else going on.
He's not actually the guy in Kansas City.
Yeah, I just, Dan, I do like your football takes. I know we argue back and forth a lot, jokingly, and you're always hard on me, reasonably so. Someone's got to be. But Eric Bieniemy is the one I would really disagree on. Like, if we move on from Stefanski, like I was cool moving on with Baker because Deshaun's a clear cut upgrade. But unless moving on, if we move on from Stefanski, I want a clear cut upgrade, and I just don't know if Bieniemy would be that. I don't know if there's something more we don't know. I don't know if there's like character issues or what, because he hasn't been hired anywhere.
I've always heard from people like Jason Whitlock, who covered the Chiefs for all those years. I've heard some people say like they question here. I guess there's been questions about him.
Really?
Yeah,
because I don't know. Like, I just know he's been.
Yeah, because people have always wondered that. Because I've always wondered. I'm kind of like, well, I mean, if he sat her, because it sounds good. Because it's like, man, if he could take those concepts from the Chiefs, they sat and learned, and Andy Reid's a great coach. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. But I don't know what the red flags are. I don't. I don't know. I mean, I'd interview him. I mean, if you feel like he's the guy, then take him.
Yeah, I would just want a clear-cut upgrade, someone who's been a head coach before. I just wouldn't take a coordinator. And the biggest thing is, like, for me, as long as Deshaun, because it's your franchise QB, if he's not happy with the coaching at any point, he's going to let Jimmy know, and then, stuff will fly. But until we start hearing Deshaun's unhappy with the coaching, then, Kevin's pretty much safe. I do, it was leaked. I can't remember the insider. I think it was Jonathan Jones, Jonathan something. Oh
no, we said it was a bad loss from the get-go.
Yeah, it was a bad loss. We're not making excuses. We're just analyzing the game. It is what it is.
Yeah, it was a bad loss. I said the second half was pitiful. I mean,
yeah. But
your adjustments are horrible. You're throwing the ball on a third down, fourth down, and it's just like, what the hell are you doing? They just look lost. But again, I go back to the Bengals game because I ripped Stefanski after the Bengals game.
Yeah,
I just don't. Call a good game. It's too inconsistent. You can't be this inconsistent. I mean, in 2020 he was consistent, but especially in the latter half, you knew what you were getting. They were pretty consistent. The next year, not so much. And then this year, not at all. And I get the whole quarterback thing. But still, I mean, like, look at the Jets game. Look at the Chargers game. That should never happen.
No. And again, that's the biggest thing. And we're going to go over our wish list, our Christmas wish list. You want to transition now into that?
Yeah, we'll start getting into that. Why not? Because, I mean, there's not a whole lot for that game. That game was a snoozer anyways.
Yeah, it was a snoozer. There's really not much to talk about. Our Browns Christmas wish list for 2023. Also, Dan, since you're watching, I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. I hope it was a great Christmas. If you're still listening, to you and yours. Love you, Danny. Hope your family's doing great. And anyone else who's listening, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Real quick before you get into it.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks you guys for tuning in.
Absolutely.
All right.
So Christmas wish list for 2023.
Hold on. How do we face a team without their top three receivers? Shut down the rushing attack. We haven't been able to stop the run. We're going to get into that
because I agree. The Browns cannot stop the run to save their life.
We can't stop the run at all.
Yep.
We can't stop. Look, remember the damn Falcons game?
Yep.
They ran the ball every single time, and I'm sitting there with Corey, and I'm like, Corey's a Falcons fan. I'm like, oh gosh, I got to hear from Corey.
Yeah, we couldn't stack we didn't even stack the box as well. It was that's the thing. Christmas wish list: what we want to see in the Browns in 2023. What I would love to see, and what I'm sure we will be seeing, is for number one, shining example. Love Stefanski, hate Stefanski, but even if you love him, even if you hate him, both sides agree on this. Joe Woods is gone. Get him out of the building. Fire him. Find somebody else. I hope he's successful somewhere else. It's always weird calling for a grown man's job, but he is inept. And it's not just him. His assistant staff is inept. Jeff Howard, the DB's coach, just Coach Kenny, all of them need to go. And there needs to be a complete overhaul. I think we can agree on that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on, I got a typo. Thanks for reminding me, Dan. My damn computer typo. Yeah, I agree. Uh, yeah, my number one, and I'm just going based off the reporting because it sounds like the fancy's coming back. So my number one would be a new defensive coordinator.
Yep, I agree. Joe Woods is gone. Um, we've already talked about a couple names that we like. We like Brian Flores. Mike Zimmer might be a name to watch too because there's that camaraderie from the Vikings with Stefanski.
You know
There's a
what?
third name,
That would be my number one. I'm gonna go with Mike Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer. All
Mike
right.
Zimmer's my wish list based off, and I. It sounds like they're bringing Stefanski back now. Again, would I look around? Absolutely, especially if I think, you know, if I can get a bigger name. Who knows? Anything can happen in the NFL. Once we get to February, you might see some wild stuff.
Yeah, who knows?
But again, we're based off what's realistic. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Mike Zimmer. I like Mike Zimmer. It sounds like Vic Fangio is going with Sean Payton to wherever he goes. So I'm gonna go with Mike Zimmer. I like Mike Zimmer. I like the cohesion with him and Stefanski. Dan's got a wish list.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he already is, buddy. I think he's played his last snap as a Brown. I don't foresee him coming back.
Dan said he needs to be running no sweeps, just an actual sweeper. So
Yeah, I remember that. I think
we're
Anthony
gonna run with
Schwartz
that.
is out. Yeah, he's. They tried. Andrew Berry likes to stay true to his draft picks. Didn't work out. Is what it is. Can't hit on them all.
I will say though, I like this. I would for if I had a wish list for this year, I want to see the last two games because it's wash games. Let's give David Bell some more shine. Can we give him a little more targets to see what he's got?
Yeah, I would love that. I would love to see a little wish list for this year. Yeah, see what David Bell's got.
Yeah,
Maybe
an actual slot receiver. Exactly.
yeah. So my wish list now, and a wish list is a wish, so it can be unrealistic. My second thing on my wish list is complete overhaul of the defensive tackle room. In my book, there's only one defensive tackle who is at least serviceable, and he's started to play better, is Perrion Winfrey. Yep, there it is. Yeah, thank you, Dan. Legit, as you were typing it, I was saying it. Yeah, no, complete overhaul. Tommy Togiai, not a defensive tackle in the NFL. Taven Bryan, out. I think we're running that Ben Steele guy who we got off the street from the Dolphins practice squad, out.
Jordan Elliott.
Jordan Elliott, we've given him all the chances in the world, out.
Winfrey's played actually better.
Yes, that's the only guy I keep is Perrion Winfrey. He is, and he was a fourth-round pick.
At best, he's a good rotation guy.
Yeah, he was a fourth-round pick. He was going to be a project to begin with. Still got room to grow.
I'm gonna be honest. I like what I've seen from Alex Wright as a rookie.
Yeah, no, I think Alex Wright is a really good run stuffer. He's got all the athletic talents. He's just got to learn more technique. He doesn't know a swim move. He's not good with his hands yet. He's just trying to, set the edge off of raw athleticism. So
I'm not bringing Clowney back yet.
No, he's probably not coming back. But
we got a hot take right there.
No, well, I mean,
that's tough because you took that guy 10th overall. It's pretty bad.
I don't think he's traded. Like, I wouldn't. See, there are two guys I'd be okay trading, and Jed is one of them. Denzel Ward is the other, and I love Denzel. Nothing against him. Love his game. He's our true number one corner, but our front office has proven they can find a corner wherever, and Martin Emerson has shown that he can stack up with the best of them. So maybe if you wanted to get more draft capital back, I just don't know if they're going to get rid of Jed, Dan. Like, I wouldn't mind it. The goddamn elf off the field. I like the, I like the elf, but if superstitious, I get it. I wouldn't mind the Browns helmet with the white helmet back on the field.
Yeah, you just took it out of my. Can we wear the white helmets permanently?
Oh, dude, yeah, that looks so good. I couldn't believe they said they were going back. I was so upset. The white helmets looked great.
They look so much better.
Or the white face masks, rather. That looks so much better.
It looks like an actual football franchise.
Yeah, there's a part of that wish list. Make the white face masks permanent.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's. We'll make that number 3. White face mask permanent.
That looks so much better.
Yeah, we're going with that. Now, for defensive tackle, I'm gonna go back to number 2 because defensive tackle. So what I would,
There's one
I,
name I know I want. I don't know if we can
where are
get him.
yeah. Well, I think we're thinking the same thing because they tried trading for him.
Deron Payne.
He's available. That'd be perfect because he's a little younger.
He's younger. We could sign him to a long-term deal, but he's already filled out into like the physique you want for a defensive tackle. Just a great run stuffer. Plays one tech, just absolute monster.
Because when you look at it in the draft, I mean,
I don't know who's. I really haven't. I'm not there yet. I haven't looked at who's coming out, who's going to be available, where we're drafting. I haven't looked, so I can't even speak on that.
I will throw out. This isn't a wish because it probably I don't think it would happen. But if I had to throw out a wish, can we get Jackson Smith to Jigba somehow?
That's a wish. I mean, I would love him on there. He can stretch the field.
It's a wish. I mean,
I wouldn't mind him.
He could drop to the 20s because of that injury.
I wouldn't mind him or the kid out of Tennessee, Jalen Hyatt.
I like Hyatt, but I think if Smith-Njigba drops to the late 20s, mid 20s, you got to at least try to get in there and get him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't know.
My God. You want to talk about a true slot receiver. There you go, right there. That dude's going to be a slot receiver for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all.
See, I agree with Dan on this, too. Linebacker. A leader. They need a voice at the linebacker.
I think we draft a linebacker, but would you agree?
They need a veteran. Like when he says leader, we need somebody with a voice.
I think they're bringing back Anthony Walker. I think they really like Anthony Walker in that locker room, and he's just an absolute leader. He's hurt. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back. Like I wouldn't be surprised. He is older, but they love him.
He's coming off that injury.
Yep. My smart bunny is they bring him back for better or for worse.
Dan, do you know anybody do you know a veteran linebacker we could sign? Maybe Dan might know. I can't think off the top of my head.
I don't know.
Because I haven't looked at free agency yet.
I bet we do draft one in the third though.
Yeah, I've seen some mocks. Sewell's brother in the second round from
just because we need some depth there. Kind of proved like JOK got hurt, down. I know you like Jacob Phillips. I'm not a big fan of Jacob Phillips. Sione Takitaki actually played well at the
college, but I mean I like to come out of college, but I'm not. I don't need to. I still believe in I think JOK is gonna be all right. I think.
JOK's. I mean, he
put him in the right
well
system
every year, But
just put him in the right system.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind bringing back Sione Takitaki on a little 2-year team friendly deal because he did play well at Mike when he was in there. But
maybe just because he got hurt so late in that injury, it's like how long?
Yeah, that might help the Browns.
Do you bring Deion Jones back?
I don't know. Deion, he hasn't played bad. He hasn't played great. He didn't invest a lot. I don't really know where he goes. I wouldn't hate it, but I linebacker is a good wish, but I feel like we can kind of fill that in because we do have the premier linebacker in JOK. It's just tackle DT in every which way you can. Sign Deron Payne
on the screen.
Fletcher Cox is available. Go get Fletcher Cox on a vet deal.
Mm-hmm.
Or some other older 3 tech. Just overhaul that whole goddamn room.
I agree. Can you see this on the screen? Hold on.
We have the weakest DT room in the NFL.
Here's the free agency list coming up. Some names. Orlando Brown, left tackle, 26 years old, unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, he's been playing bad.
Jesse Bates down there, your guy.
Will that be on your wish list,
Jesse Bates?
You want
to put him on the wish list?
The only problem I have with Jesse Bates, and I was high on Jesse Bates because I thought both our safeties played bad all season up until about the midway point. And Grant Delpit's actually been playing really, really well, right? So Jesse Bates is like Grant Delpit. They're very good in the box and in the strong safety position, but Jesse Bates gets fooled a lot. Like he's a very easily moved receiver, or I'm sorry, safety. He's very easily moved and fooled.
Mm.
So, because anytime the Bengals put him at like true FS, dude like blows a coverage. Like he's so inconsistent. Like in the box,
I'm looking at
he's
this list
fantastic.
here. Let me know if you see any names on here. How's Yannick Ngakoue? How's he still playing?
Yannick Ngakoue, he's playing very okay. You know, he's a decent edge rusher, and he's young yet, but like, you know, I think he's on the Colts right now. I think he has like 5 sacks, maybe.
Yeah.
Like he's been playing okay. There's a name. If we're looking at like young edge rushers, there's a kid out
Let me
of.
see if I can go to position. Hold on. Let me see if I can go to position.
Yeah, go to defensive end. There's a kid out of Denver that I really like. His name's Draymond Jones. And
Draymond Jones?
Yeah, he's
from Ohio State.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from Cleveland too.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
But every year he's had like 4.5, 5.5 sacks. He's young. You know, the Broncos probably won't bring him back. He probably won't be expensive as a free agent because he hasn't put like crazy numbers out, but he's very productive, good at setting the edge, good run defender. And if you can get, 5.5, 6 sacks out of him and fix DT at the same time, and somebody gets better at 3 tech, whether it be Perion Winfrey or you pick someone up through free agency that can fill that true interior pass rush as well.
Oh, I
think that would be great.
Yeah.
Levante David, yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good, Levante David, and I like that. What else did he say? Oh, he said Talkie Phillips are good special teamers for NFL. They don't belong with a mic in their helmet for leading the charge. No, they do not.
Yeah. There's another one on the wish list. Figure out green dot. Figure out who the hell is wearing it, whose responsibility it is to get the defense right. And I'm sure that'll come with the new DC, because the new DC, I hope, will be at least a little bit more, bit more, capable. But yeah, so we covered defensive tackle.
I like that name you brought up. I forgot.
Draymond Jones.
Draymond Jones.
He's going to be a free agent. The Broncos aren't going to bring him back.
I don't think that anybody wants to go back to the Broncos anyways.
We could trade probably for Jerry Jeudy for a 7th.
Maybe.
The last thing on my wish list, and this is because I don't know if we can make it happen.
We got. I got Mike Zimmer. We got. We got defensive tackle.
New
Primarily,
DC,
we want DeAndre Payne. We want Payne.
Yeah, Deron Payne.
We want the white face mask permanent.
Yep.
I threw out a wild card, Jackson Smith the Jigbo somehow, but I don't see that. But it's a wish. Draymond Jones. We'll add him to the list. Draymond Jones.
Actually, and I said this would be my last thing. I lied. I'm gonna have many more things, but I'm gonna throw this in there. Now, this might be unlikely, but the Cardinals may or may not blow up their team. Cliff Kingsbury seems to be out the door. They're not happy with Kyler Murray's contract. They're not happy with a lot of their contracts.
I'll say it. I already know it. I'm gonna say it right now.
Trade for D-Hop. If possible, trade for D-Hop. We got Amari Cooper for a 5th. And D-Hop's on the wrong side of the 30. He's still got all the talent in the world. He can still be a very good receiver. And
hey, is it on the screen? There we go.
Oh my God. Trade for DeAndre Hopkins. If they can work out the money somehow, because he's expensive, he's on the wrong side of the 30. So with the contract and the age, I think they would be willing to trade him.
See,
it's just a matter if you can make it work. Obviously,
I don't like the contract. We need to put our money elsewhere.
Yeah, no, that's the only bigaboo. You'd have to restructure
it's not
somebody.
Like you need him. You don't need him. You got 2 solid guys.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
we have two great receivers.
I
I'm
think
just,
David Bell, if he got more opportunity, could be a good player.
I agree,
Uh,
but I'm just,
and
you
you could
can't tell
always
me you'd be
draft a receiver. You
salivating.
could sign another one.
Can't tell me you
Oh
wouldn't be
yeah, I mean,
salivating over a wide receiver room of D Hop, Amari Cooper, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. That's
yeah,
a
I mean, it
receiving
sounds
core right
great.
there.
And obviously, the chemistry with him and Watson, but it's
Right.
just the money. They need to put that money elsewhere.
No, I agree with that.
I think you got to
I'm
put
just
that
saying
money
that's why
elsewhere.
it's a wish list. I don't
Plus,
think.
I don't
I
know
don't
if
think.
I don't know if I want to add too many names again because you have Nick Chubb, you have to run him the ball, and you got two other guys that are starters now that are pretty good. We know Amari Cooper's good, and I think Peoples Jones is becoming pretty good. So I don't know. Do you want to keep adding more?
Oh,
Names
there's
to
a
the
thing on
room.
the wish list in the offseason. Sign DPJ to an extension. He's earned it.
Do they have to now?
Next year's the last year of his rookie deal, so might as well get it done.
Yeah, I guess so. Why not? Yeah, I agree with that. We'll get that deal. Yeah, I'd sign him. I'd bring him back for sure. They stole him.
Yeah.
I don't know how that he
Like,
lasted the 6th round.
yeah, there's
He was a
always
great
one.
college too.
It always hurts me though that can you imagine how many passes we'd call on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 with that wide receiver room? Goddamn right we would, and it would work. Why not
Well, I don't
pass
know.
every
Well,
down if we had that wide receiver room?
it depends. I'm gonna be honest. Here's my problem with this regime right now. They look too analytical at times,
Oh,
and
I
I'm
know.
not anti. I'm not anti-analytics. I think analytics is just information, but you can't use analytics solely on your play calling constantly. That's not good because you have to play chess, not checkers. That's how you win in any sport, especially
Oh, I
team
agree.
team sports. Man, they look too. Those two play calls yesterday looked real analytical. And where does football common sense come into play?
Right.
I don't know, man. I get a little. That's just why I get a little weary. I'm questioning this regime and this coaching staff. Because I'm not really 100% bringing them back. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not 100%. I, I just can't keep wasting years, man.
No, I agree. I mean, here it is what it is. I think again he's going to
Because
get
what's going to
brought
happen
back.
eventually. They're gonna if they wasted if next year they came back next year or something happens in the off season, don't be surprised you saw somebody like Mike Miles Garrett request a trade.
Right.
You start losing guys. That's bad. That's where they're heading if they don't turn around. It's going to go really ugly, really quick, or it can go really great. So, but again, do you trust the Haslams?
No, that's the only reason. Like Stefanski, I think serviceable. Like I think we can win with him. We have won with him. It's just a matter of what he gets at DC.
I don't know. Kevin Stefanski to be a Cleveland only one
Here he
playoff
won
game
11 games to get
while he
there,
was all
brother.
Oh, yeah, 2020, he was really good. I mean, he was coach of the year. He was great in 2020. He was pretty good. I mean, he made Baker Mayfield look pretty good. So, but now since then, I agree. So again, out of 3 seasons, only one of them's good. It's not what you want. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. The heat's on. I know that. There's a lot of fans that say get his ass out of there.
Right.
The ownership is they listen locally.
Yeah, that's always
And
been their
Andrew,
biggest problem, though, is listening to
and here's
fans.
the
You know
thing
what,
too.
Mike?
Oh
I
yeah.
always like what Mike
Here,
Tomlin said. Like, if you start listening to the fans, you're going to be sitting with them.
Well, that's why Mike Tomlin's a great coach. That's why the organization is who they are. Obviously, we don't. They're a rival, but you have to respect the step. I mean, look at it. The Steelers are still have a shot. How the hell did the Steelers have a better record than us this year? That should have never happened.
No.
It's supposed to be a down year for them, and they have a bet. They look so much better than us, just overall. When you watch that game last night, they just look like an actual NFL franchise.
I
When you
actually did
watch
not
us,
watch that game.
when you watch it, I mean, that's what great organizations do. They start pulling out games like that. They're not supposed to win. They got Kenny Pickett at quarterback.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't have, and they don't really have half the talent we have,
No,
especially on offense.
right. No, I agree with that. But I don't know. We'll see what next year brings.
So we got Mike Zimmer. That's our number one. Well, that was my number one. Mike Zimmer,
For me, it's Flores.
uh, Flores.
Hmm.
I'm cool with either. I like Mike. I'm cool with Flores. You know what I like about Flores? Why I like because he was in Pittsburgh this year. He's familiar
Yeah.
with the division now, so I kind of like that in a way. But either one, I'm good with either one. Um, let's see. And then we said defensive tackle overall.
And
Make the
honestly,
white
that
face mask permanent. We said De'Aaron Payne and Draymond Jones. Actually, I really like that Draymond Jones. That's a good one because you might get him for a little on the low too.
oh yeah, that's why I like him. Cheap can probably be
Yeah, because he was taken late. I think he
yeah.
was like a 6th round pick. No, he's a fifth. Yeah, he's a fifth. But he's from Cleveland too. I think he went to Ohio State. Um, I threw out an ultimate wish list with Jackson Smith the Chigba.
D Hop.
Mike's yours is D Hop. Mine was Smith the Jigba because he's a true slot. He might slide just because he didn't play this year.
Hell,
Um,
I'll throw Jerry Judy on there on that ultimate
Jerry
wish
Judy.
list. Yeah, somebody to
Um,
stretch the field fast. Probably a more realistic guy because he will be a free agent. Is Paris Campbell, and
oh, you took my guy. That's my guy, Paris. Damn it! I should have thought of that. Yeah, give me Paris Campbell because
he's a free agent. Yeah,
he's a free agent. Yeah, he's just contract, and I know he wants to come home. He wanted to get drafted here when he was coming out, but that's the year they traded for Odell, so I kind of washed that out. But yeah, Paris would be really good because Paris, if he's healthy, he's very productive. You look at his
yeah,
numbers this year when he plays; he's pretty good. He's a true slot too, and he's a lot of versatility with him. He's
yeah. And I
6 foot.
don't imagine the
He's not.
Colts
He's not a
bring.
small slot either. He's 6'1". He's got elite speed. He's just had some bad injuries. It's been freak exits. All his injuries have been broken bones.
Yeah,
So, but this year he's been good. So
yeah, and the Colts aren't bringing him back. I don't think the Colts are bringing anybody back.
I think
Honestly,
I'm this is just pure speculation on my part. This isn't based on anything I've heard or anything or I know, but I think or I've read. But I always think guys like to come home, and I know he wanted to come here. He said that. I remember when he was getting drafted, but again, they traded for Odell, so I kind of threw that out the window. But yeah, I wrote that. So Jerry Judy, I don't know. Jerry Judy's more of an outside, so I would pass on him.
right,
I'll take Paris Campbell fits a need. They need speed, and they just need depth. If you just put him at depth, he could do that. You don't have to start even.
right.
So I'll take Paris Campbell, and he'll want to play here. Uh, so can Draymond Jones coach? Uh,
No, but the new
well,
DC will be able to.
he had good coaching in college, so that might help. But I agree with this here. We are a win now team with a roster rate to win now. The job in 2020 was highly desired because any coach that came in knew they had a shot at success with a fully constructed roster. That was not a fluke, and mostly inspired of Stefanski's horrible in-game decisions. Now that's another thing. His in-game decision record is not great. It's just not good.
I don't know. But the
I'm gonna be
thing
honest,
about
Mike.
Dan
There's
is he's an
only
absolute hater of Stefanski. So that you can only take what Dan says with a grain of salt with Kevin Stefanski. There's always those two camps of Browns fans: the guys that like Stefanski, guys that don't. I get it,
I
but
like there's things I say I'm 50-50. There's things I like about him,
I mean, I'm
and
the
there's
same
things
way. Like I'm realistic. I just don't think it's like
sometimes I
I'm
wonder
of
though,
the
Mike.
thought process that if Kevin Stefanski were fired tomorrow, he'd have a head coaching position the next day.
I don't
Like
think so.
I
I'll be
do.
honest,
I
Mike.
think he would be hired immediately.
I'm gonna be honest. The same things we were saying about Eric Bieniemy earlier. Maybe he's just a coordinator. Some guys are just better coordinators. Although Bieniemy hasn't got a shot yet, so it's hard to say.
Right.
But when I think of Kevin Stefanski, he might just be a good, great coordinator. Some guys are just better coordinators.
Right. And there's just
And
really not a
so,
clear cut upgrade, too. That's my biggest fear.
not yet, but I'm telling you, there's gonna be some fireworks coming in. There's always something that comes in February. And so he said it next CFL or XFL. Yeah, I don't think he'd get rehired immediately. He'd probably go right back to a coordinator job somewhere. But I'm gonna throw this out there, Mike, and this is just since we're doing wishful thinking. It's Christmas, right? You know,
Yeah,
Christmas. You got to dream at Christmas, right, Mike? You got to dream big.
of course.
You know, wishful thinking. Corey, hit the link, Corey. Uh, Corey said Sean Payton. I would like Sean Payton, Corey, but he ain't coming here. He's going to
I
Arizona
agree. Like, here, if the Browns could
or
get Sean
LA.
Payton, sure, dude, but like, that's
I
not
sent it to you.
happening. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
Corey, hit the link.
I'm not
Hit the link in the
against
chat, Corey.
upgrading at coach. It's just it would have to be an upgrade. And if you hire a coordinator to who's never been a head coach before to take Kevin Stefanski's job with a win now team, as Dan said, there is a ounce of risk where the team can fail because the dude is Nathaniel Hackett 2.0. You know, they thought that the Broncos were going to be good. They were a win now team. They got Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett. You know, you hire a coordinator.
Corey, hit that link, Corey.
There's just an ounce of risk. That's where I'm at. Like, and then that worst case scenario you were talking about, Joseph, happens.
Oh, that's what I'm about to bring up. This is a wild, but again, I have family in New England. I've been reading a lot of reports in New England. It's getting hot up there. If Bill Belichick decides, and there was an article written in the Athletic the other day. I'll pull it up here, so people don't believe me. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but there was an article the other day in the Athletic, and they've been talking about this on. Did you know last week on the local radio, like on the we had the fan here in ESPN Cleveland, on the local radios up there. You know they're talking about there's people calling in wanting to fire Bill Belichick. That's how bad it is up there.
That's insane. I mean,
I
that
agree,
just shows you
but I'm
fandom,
just
though.
telling you though,
All
Mike. I'm
fandoms
just
do
telling
that.
you. I know, but listen, when you start getting articles coming out from the local media questioning them, saying is it time to move on because they're not going anywhere. And here's my thing: why the hell would Bill Belichick stay there? Are they winning anything anytime soon? He's 70 years old. The dude's probably going to want to retire soon. Maybe go out with a bang. If you don't tell me this. If you gave Bill Belichick this Browns roster, you don't think he'd go have a shot at the Super Bowl?
I mean, I agree with that, but and
And not only
here,
that, he was forced out of Cleveland. So, and he always speaks highly of Cleveland. He never downs Cleveland. That's his one. That's you know what I mean.
right?
He could run it back and finish it out here and retire. That'd be a hell of a finish. These guys want
Here,
to go out with a bang. He's one of the greatest coaches in all sports, in history of sports.
like I said, like if it was a clear cut upgrade like that, I'd be okay with it. But I'm not for firing Stefanski and replacing him with some coordinator that's never been a coach before because
I
you
agree with
just
that. I
fall
don't
down.
want
You
Nathaniel. I
just
don't
fall
want
down
him.
the rabbit hole,
Yeah,
dude. Same
yeah.
issues
No, I
that, you
agree.
know.
I agree. I don't want another. We don't need. I mean, look at that. You know, like Nathaniel Hack. Oh my gosh, he parked Aaron Rodgers' car. Let's
Yeah.
hire him. He got Aaron Rodgers his coffee every morning. Let's hire him. It's the same thing with Andy Reid. Remember Matt Nagy? Oh my gosh, he hired. You know, he got Andy Reid's clothes ready for me. You know, some stupid shit like that. He got his clipboard. Anybody gets close to these guys, oh, we got to hire him. No, like I mean, Denver's on nuclear. They're on DEFCON 1.
Oh yeah.
Dan said Bill Cowher. I would love
Bill
Bill Cowher.
Cowher.
But can we get Bill Cowher out of that studio? I don't know. He's in the Hall of Fame now.
That's not gonna happen.
We've been hearing Bill Cowher to Cleveland forever. Everybody always
Yeah,
said
that's not happening.
we spotted Bill Cowher. And remember that he bought a house in Strongsville. That's
Yeah.
been the rumor forever. I
Bill
agree.
Cowher. That's the old head thing.
I would. No, listen, Bill Cowher could still come out of there and kick some ass. I totally agree.
Bill Cowher.
I'd take
It's not
Bill
happening. That's
Cowher's
just
better.
the ultimate old head thing to throw out there. That's like the people that want Greg Williams back, except Bill Cowher is an actual winner. Bill
I just don't
Cowher.
get the sense.
It's not
I don't get
happening.
this. I don't get the sense that Bill Cowher wants to come back and coach.
No.
He looks very comfortable with that studio. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame now. I mean, I don't. I'm telling you, man. Just keep an eye on it. Just keep an eye on what's going on in New England.
Here, if they get a clear cut
when you
upgrade
start
coach, I
when,
won't be mad. But it's
when
just
you
a
start
matter of
seeing when you start seeing shit like this in the articles getting slightly. Remember last year? Remember last year they said. Remember the Browns? They say, "Well, we're bringing Baker Mayfield back," right? But then all year long, you start seeing these little art, and people don't realize this is how this stuff works. This stuff don't come from anywhere. It's thrown out there for a reason. All right. So when remember last year, they start heating it up with Baker Mayfield, and then you start hearing big names like Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, and then as time went on, when the offseason gets over with, like deep in the playoffs, and this is almost to the combine, then you start to find out more of the truth about things. I'm just saying, man, some of the shit they're saying coming out of New England, it might get a little hot up there, Mike. I don't know. And I would do that, obviously, any day of the week.
Yeah, no, I mean here, I agree. Like if it's clear cut upgrade, I won't be mad. But
Do you think Josh McDaniels is going to be retained as the coach in Vegas?
Vegas, no. But
Don't think you
no,
will? I
no,
don't
he
think
should
so
never be
either.
a head coach again.
No, I agree. But so if he's available, and let's say that happened, my gosh, could you imagine Josh McDaniels back as he's a hell of a coordinator, uh, realign back with Bill? I
I
mean,
mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but again, it's just, I mean, it's a wish list, so I wouldn't have
I
a problem
agree.
with that at all.
Yeah, Brady's not going back to New England.
No, no,
No,
full
hell, he's
swan
going out
song
west.
together. Yeah,
He ain't
no,
going
he's
back.
gonna
He's
be a
going out
Niner.
west.
He's gonna be a Niner.
Yeah, he's. I agree. I think he's going out west. He
He's
ain't
a
going back to New
San
England.
Francisco 49er.
New England's not ready to win now, anyways. Have you seen their offense? Their personnel? It's horrible. Not good.
Yeah, and I don't
That'd
know.
be a
I think
horrible way to
Brady's
go
kind
out.
of fallen off a cliff a little bit too.
Uh, yeah, he's not as good. He still can get it
I mean,
done
he's
though.
still
But
he's still serviceable, but
yeah, here you go, right here. This is from. Look at that headline. What happens if Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick aren't aligned in vision for Patriots' future? Just a thought. I don't know. Just saying, Mike. I don't know. What do you say? Well, yeah, because they're out coached. That's why they got out coached those games.
like I
I
said, I
don't think
got no problem with it if it happens. But
I'd do it for sure. Yeah, we're at that to the wish. So we got 9 items. We got Mike Zimmer, De'Aaron Payne, white face mask permanent, Jackson Smith the Jigba, Draymond Jones. You said D Hop and Jerry Judy. We both agree on Paris Campbell. And then Bill Belichick was mine at 9. You want to do a 10th one just to round it off? You got another one?
um,
Maybe a safety or
if we go safety, I'd want to look in the draft. I don't know. Like, I'd like to see what our room looks like with a better DC. I think maybe, that changes things a little bit. Because we're only going to have so much money, and it's like,
right.
we need maybe one more receiver, whether or not. But the biggest thing we need is we do need to overhaul the fuck out of that defensive tackle room. So I feel like that's going to eat most of the money.
I mean, they got over, yeah,
So
mainly there. You need to clean up the linebacker room and the back end. Your corners are set. You're good at corner.
yeah,
I know. I mean, you stole Martin Emerson, who I think will end up being the best corner on the team probably next year.
yeah. 10 for 10, I'd just say make sure the defense is actually fixed.
Yeah, number 10. I got another one. Cade York.
Cade York
What?
to be good.
I mean, yeah. Would you look at adding another kicker again, even though they spent a fourth rounder on this
Nah,
guy?
he's not gonna hit. They're not. I mean, maybe I would bring someone to camp to compete with him. Maybe, but like they're not gonna move off of him. That's his job. They're not gonna. They like you said, they invested a fourth round pick. They're not moving off of that cat. That cat's firmly in that seat for at least next year too.
I agree. Oh, I got a new get. Merry Christmas to you, Mike, and hope you and Faith are doing well. Tell your son, Mike, little Mike, hope everything's well, and Merry Christmas to you guys as well. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah, man. I don't know. Ugh. Oh gosh, they got a lot to figure out this off season.
That we do. I luckily I do trust Andrew Barry a lot. Love Andrew Barry, so I think he'll figure it out.
I liked Andrew Berry. When I look back at some of these drafts, though, I don't know. He drafts corner well.
I
He got the,
mean,
I mean,
Donovan Peoples Jones, he drafted Jerome
uh,
Ford. James Hudson's been good. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Greg Newsome. I mean, he's done well. Traded for Amari Cooper for a fifth. I mean, I
no,
give
I'm not. He's done some great things, but you still gotta.
he's a B plus in my book.
I'm all right with that. I give him a B minus. I start off the year at B plus. I'll give him a B minus now, and I could go lower. But again, how much of this too is just around coaching? Because remember when they signed John Johnson, everybody said it was a great signing.
Yeah, I that's
It's
what I'm
been
saying.
complete.
That's why like
It's
I
been the
don't think.
absolute drizzling shits at a lot of these signings. They just have not panned out
Yeah, I
at
think.
all. So how much of it is really coaching? That's the biggest thing. It's just look around the league. Look at the Steelers. Look at all these other teams. Look at the Rams. Even look at Baker Mayfield today. Coaching. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think. I mean, granted, Baker said that the Kyle Shanahan system didn't work for him, and then he fucked around, and found out in Carolina where they don't run that system sucked. Um, oh my God, you can't even hate on Andrew Barry, bro. He's done so much. I won't stand for that. You could talk shit about Stefanski
I don't
some of
know.
the
I think
points
he's done.
about.
No, at our fantasy league this year, I snuck in. Right, we had 7 seeds.
Hmm.
I snuck in at 7-7, and now I'm going to the championship game in our fantasy league, the Fred Martin League.
Oh, look at
I
that.
snuck. I snuck. We won it last year. Last year, I only lost one game. This year, Kyle Pitts. I took Kyle Pitts early, and he didn't get the ball at all. He just killed my whole team. So late in the year, we had a shot to sneak in. So I put I made some late acquisitions, and guys made it in, or guys started playing well. My team got red hot, so now we're going to the championship. We might win it the last seed in the playoffs. Come back and win back to back champs.
But
I appreciate it. But Dan, I didn't know I made the playoffs, to be honest with you. I looked last week after the first round. I was like, oh shit, we won. I didn't know we were in. And then I looked today, we won big today. I'm like, all right, we got a shot. Which is crazy, but my team played how I expected to play later in the year. So,
good boy, Ollie.
yeah, I didn't know I even made the playoffs. I looked last week. I was like, damn, I didn't know we were in. I thought we were out because I was like, too many injuries. I don't know. So what was your 10? Would you say just defense?
Yeah, just fix it. Fix it
My
all.
my here's my 10th. Figure out the balance between analytics and football
That's a good one. I like that one.
because the analytics scares me. And I know we got some dudes in the media that's all they know is analytics because a lot of them never played the game. Not hating on them, but it is what it is, and they will defend the analytics to the end. But when you listen to ex players, people that've been around football, doesn't mean they're. Here's the thing: people always say, "Oh, that means you're anti-analytics." No, I'm not. Analytics is information. It's like I always hear people say, "Well, Bill Belichick started the analytics. I mean, they use them." Yeah, it doesn't mean it's their whole thing, though. There's
Yeah.
football minds, personnel, matchups. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Anybody that played the game? Dan, you played the game. Everybody knows. And Mike, you probably there has to be personnel. Match. You can't use analytics for everything. Your play calling, like I said, those two calls yesterday, the third down and the fourth down, looked very analytical. And your play, does the climate? Did you not look around in the climate you're playing in?
Right.
I don't know. We got one more comment for you, Mike. Did you see that, Mike?
Yeah, but he's still got all the talent around, and Andrew Barry's been fantastic, so I'm not going to hate. And if he is graded by wins and losses, he's the best GM we've had since we came back as a franchise, so I'm not upset.
I will say that this is the best regime we've had since we come back. Because at least there's not any like doesn't see at least there's not as much drama with this
Yeah.
one.
Oh, how we forget 0-16.
At least there's not as much drama, like dumb stuff. But the only thing you're questioning with this one is just decision making overall, which is important, obviously. But what do you say? That's like being the tallest midget. Yeah. Oh man. All right, Mike. So before we get out of here, we'll close this up. Who's your coach for 2023?
Defensive coordinator, you mean?
Everything. Head coach.
Head coach, it's going to be
If you
Stefanski. He will be back.
so if let's say you're
Um,
Jimmy Haslam, and Dan, you can comment on this. Anybody else want? If you're Jimmy Haslam, what do you do?
well, if I'm Jimmy Haslam, well, I'd probably do something more erratic. But if I'm just going by what I think is going to happen,
No. I want you to be Jimmy Haslam.
okay. Well, if that were the case, I'd bring in Sean Payton as long as that was cool with Deshaun, and then have Deshaun pick out his OC, and
So
then
knowing
bring
this,
in
he doesn't want to go to cold climate though.
yeah, and then bring in whoever for
All right.
DC. But like that's the thing. Like if I could, I would. But like what I think is going to happen is Kevin Stefanski comes back. They get a DC, either Mike Zimmer or Brian Flores, and then whatever happens as special team coordinator happens. Bring back my preferred. I don't care. I think he should be fired, but he probably won't be. Just because it's special teams and people really don't value that shit that much. Um, and then get some new offensive minds behind Stefanski, like new quarterback coach, new wide receivers coach, just some minds that have worked with a quarterback that's more like Deshaun in the past. Maybe open up his playbook a little bit more, maybe get some new ideas in there for him, because
All
I think
right.
that might help him too.
Dan said his solution is fire Stefanski and hire Deshaun Watson to lawyer. Well, I don't know.
Dan's a Bucks fan, folks, so
I would wait until um I would wait till the season's over. I mean here I'm just acting if I was Jimmy Haslam, I'd scope around and see, I'd sniff around what's going on in New England. You never know. You got to go for it. You can't at least try. And I'd give him the whatever you want, Bill. It's all yours, bud. Whatever you want. I call him up like, how much? That's what I would do.
no.
Um, Brown's gonna have Todd Bowles as DC. Yeah, I'll pass on that. I don't. Not after what I've seen.
Defense
Uh,
have played decent.
well, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, as a defensive coordinator, yeah, but I don't know.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah, I don't know. That's. I don't know. I wonder if he can get a better name than Todd Bowles. I think.
I'm still high on Brian Flores. That's
I think. Do you think Brian? Well, no, I wouldn't say. Was Brian Flores better than Todd Bowles? I don't know because Todd Bowles won a Super Bowl as a coordinator. So
yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
Todd Bowles is probably objectively the better pick.
then I
And
would take
here's
Bowles over
something.
him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's when guys get fired like that. I don't know.
And here's something we didn't touch on is like I think that DC job is it's gonna be coveted, man. You're gonna be working with Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, JOK, you know, bunch of great young talent, great young corners. I
See
think
here. See, Dan made a point you made earlier when we were talking earlier on the phone. He said you'd have an automatic feeling, but see, I actually agree with what Mike said. Dan is because you had Deshaun Watson wanted to go to Miami because of who, Mike?
Brian Flores.
If you put Brian Flores in there, and I agree. I mean, I don't know if Todd Bowles is a head coach. I'm not sure. See, Brian Flores is a good head coach.
He was.
I don't. Everybody was so fascinated with Mike McDaniel's, but how did the Dolphins look recently?
Yeah, I mean they've lost what 4 straight now.
Yeah, you can't tell me. There's no way in hell that those players don't respond and respect Brian Flores more than Mike McDaniel's.
There's that, and here's another thing. You know, um, it's easy to look better when you're just calling like little curl routes for your receivers, and then Tyreek Hill can take it 50 yards after the catch. So
Here's the thing too. I think Alex Van Pelt could be a good offensive coordinator.
yeah,
He called remember that? I mean, it was only one game sample size, but
well, he's called 2 games.
he called hell of a games in those 2 games.
He called the Raiders game in which we lost, and then he
Well, did he
called
call two? Was it the
yeah
Raiders one? No, I'm thinking of the Steelers game. He called the Steelers game.
yeah the playoff game, and then he called the Raiders game
I think
with
he have
Nick
a.
Mullins
I'm not
last year.
saying with Nick Mullins. He made Nick Mullins look good too. Nick Mullins almost won that game. I forgot about that. That was the defense's fault too in that game. But I think Van Pelt, as if he got a chance, could be a decent. I think he'd be a pretty good offensive coordinator. I don't know why. I don't. I just. I mean, honest, I prefer my offensive coordinator to be sitting with my quarterback.
Right.
I just think it works better because there's more dialogue. There's more that's important during the game. If you have a head coach that has to manage everything, you see, it's like Andy Reid could do that because Eric Bieniemy is good at doing that, but we don't have that. I mean, we do, but Stefanski's not Andy Reid, so I take Flores to coach the entire team tomorrow. Yeah, he's going to be the pharmacist at Walgreens. Stefanski will be. Dan says.
Yeah, he'll probably get the DC job for sure. I
But
mean,
I only bring that up to say this because if you fire Stefanski and put him in there, I would assume Van Pelt becomes your OC.
you
Right.
soon, but I don't think Stefanski's getting bladed. I mean, I
I'm
really
just
do
saying,
think he'll be back.
in that scenario, which could happen, you would have to go to Van Pelt, right?
And they're running every decision by Deshaun at this point. It's like they want to make sure they get the coach he wants, if that's the case, the OC he wants, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I don't know.
But all right, brother.
Yeah, we've been. I know we tend to ramble on more, but it's all good.
Always.
Yeah, man. So, you got anything else you want to say on the way out of here, Mike?
I just want to say Merry Christmas to all. To all, a good night. Love you all. Hope you had a lovely Christmas. And if I don't talk to any of you, hope you get a Happy New Year.
One last comment: if Stefanski loses the last 2 games, he's 100% getting whacked. I actually agree with that.
Probably.
He can't. He's got to win one of these 2 games. So,
I'll agree with that. I don't think that's a hot take.
I don't either. Yes. Thanks for coming on, Mike. I know a little late night talk with us, recapping the Browns, a little state of the Browns. That's what we'll call this. And Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you guys had a good holiday season. And yeah, we got the Buckeyes this week, Mike. I forgot. Where's Corey's dogs?
Oh yeah. What do you think we got a chance?
Yeah, we got a shot. I think we always have a shot. I think if they come out and play aggressive like they should have against Michigan, they could win that game.
That'd be awesome.
They just got to be aggressive.
What would be even better is if TCU somehow beats Michigan. That'd be hilarious.
That would be amazing if Michigan overlooked them.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean,
An Ohio State TCU natty.
that'd be, yeah.
The Horned Frogs and the Buckeyes.
Yeah. Dan said, Merry Christmas, peace, guys. Browns 17, Commanders 23. Yeah.
God.
Who the hell
Alrighty.
knows? All right, brother. I'll see you later on then.
See you later on. Talk to you, brother. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, peace.
Peace.
All right, yo. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And yeah, my man Mike and I sat here for a while, chopped it up about the Browns and all that stuff. Kind of our wish list and everything. Merry Christmas to you guys again. Hope you guys had a great day with your family and friends. Everybody stay safe and warm. Yeah, and prayers to everybody in Buffalo. And that was pretty bad up there. So anybody Buffalo, any of your family and friends up there, hope you check on them. Hope everybody's okay. And they recover. Yeah, that's all we got for you guys. Trying to think. Yeah, go Bucks this week. Beat Corey's Bulldogs. So Corey, make a bet. Um, yeah, that's all we got for you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. Go.